Hey guys, welcome back to the episode of Nicocast. I'm here with Matt FROHLICH. So Matt, tell us about yourself.
Hey man, well, thanks for having me on. I'm 27 and I currently work as the YouTube host at OneFootball. And yeah, out here in Germany. I'm originally from London, but yeah, I found this job a couple of years back and moved over here, and it's been great because I get to talk to some great people, such as yourself with your awesome podcast, and talk about football a lot, which is great. It's lots of fun, but yeah, I've been kind of football mad my whole life, playing football, coaching football as well, and now getting to talk about it on screen, which is pretty cool.
So how did you first find out about OneFootball?
I'd heard about the app. About 5 or 6 years ago, and then I kind of found a job working with OneFootball in a different capacity, actually, sort of behind the scenes. And I was for about a year and a bit, and then it was kind of evident that I talked a bit too much to work behind the scenes. So it was better to give me a shot in front of the camera. And it kind of developed from there. It was never really an idea when I first joined the company that I'd get into something like that. I guess just putting myself in the right position at the right time and, saying yes to a lot of things and really putting myself in a good position to be able to take advantage of these opportunities led me into that role. So yeah, it was never really planned, but I kind of ended up in the role.
That's very interesting. So why did you start working with OneFootball?
It was, in all honesty, I felt like it was really interesting to see what a company outside of England had to say about football in general. Like a lot is always kind of made of what the English media say, and they hype up their own players, and their English football and the Premier League is better than everything, and we're the best at football and all this kind of stuff. So I thought at the time I was really interested in being a football coach. I thought, I wonder what it looks like from outside of the UK. I wonder, how Germany views their football or English football in Spain and Italy and everywhere. And it was kind of, that's what excited me about working for somewhere that, a company such as OneFootball that draws in so many viewers and fans and has so many people working at the company who are from different backgrounds, who have a different take on football from all over the world, kind of, just really excited me, really sort of made it an interesting prospect.
Yeah, because I feel like every single country has different opinions about football.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
and I think that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
I mean, you're asking who the best players are, who the best teams are. It all depends where you're from. It all depends kind of, who you're rooting for. That's the beauty of football. And I think this is, it's really cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, because in Mexico, in the 2018 World Cup, if you were to ask like a Mexican who is the best player in the World Cup, they would 100% say Lozano.
Chucky, he was great. He was so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, it not really going so good for him at Napoli right now, but he's still, he's a phenomenal player.
And I feel like most Mexicans like focus a lot on La Liga and like when Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah. And if you would ask a Mexican like who's the best player in the world, half of them would say either Messi or Ronaldo, and really none of them would say like Lewandowski, De Bruyne. They would either say Messi or Ronaldo. So yeah, it's definitely different.
True. I think it's just, the way kind of people consume their football around the world and how they get all the information is so different. And I think that's one of the big things that OneFootball tries to tackle is getting the story from around the world to people all around the world.
Yeah. So how does the OneFootball app work, like the notifications?
Well, I don't know about the specifics of the engineering behind it, but I know that we have an amazing OneFootball newsroom who find out all the news from various sources, people that they know, stuff online, sort of various networks that we have partnered with OneFootball, including clubs, and then it all gets, the newsroom sort of write it up, and then they'll send a push out to your phone as and when something important is happening, with some breaking news, or there's team lineups, or the game's about to start, or all sorts of stuff like that. It comes from a variety of sources, but yeah, we push it all out, and the guys who work in the newsroom at OneFootball were split off into different regions of the world, and they all take control of different leagues and different areas. So you won't have, you'll have English-speaking people working in an English-speaking market, and Spanish-speaking people working a lot of Latin America and Central America, and things like that. So it's all very much trying to focus as much as possible to get everyone the best information, because you can't spread yourself too thinly if you're trying to cover the whole world, because it's tough.
Yeah. So let's say a team scores a goal, for example, let's say United scores a goal against Everton. Do they manually push out the notification?
No. So that was to think about how many goals will go in on a weekend. That would be a crazy amount to cover at once. So yeah, I think pretty certain that comes from a partner.
Yeah. So is being a reporter for OneFootball your full-time job, or do you do anything else on the side?
Well, I wouldn't say a reporter. I guess it's more content creation. So it's not just standing in front of a camera and just talking about a bit of news. It's trying to be in touch with what the football world is talking about and creating discussions based on that across all sorts of stuff. Across YouTube and our Instagram channel and Snapchat and TikTok, or whatever, Twitter, whatever's out there. It's kind of being part of the football conversation and really creating content that's suitable for so many different football fans from so many areas. And we have quite a few teams at work who do this. I'm just the English speaking one. Our OneFootball Studios team has a German channel. For any German speakers out there, Italian, Brazilian, a Brazil-focused Portuguese-speaking channel. So yeah, there's kind of, it breaks off into a lot, but yeah, that is my full-time job.
Yeah, it's cool how there's different reporters for different channels, and I definitely
they've got
that.
to know. I wouldn't, if I was a consumer of football content, if I was on the other side of the screen, I wouldn't want someone like me trying to pretend I know a lot about whatever, Brazilian football. I know a lot about European football because obviously we're in Europe and it's quite close, but yeah, I wouldn't want someone pretending. So we have people who specifically know about those leagues to give you kind of the best overview on it. Because I must admit, my Brazilian football knowledge isn't the best.
Very interesting. So how is the recording process at OneFootball?
So I kind of start, so earlier in the day, I'll grab all the information for the daily news. So we do a daily news Monday to Friday. That one's sort of the bread and butter. That's the everyday stuff, kind of collecting news from our newsroom, elsewhere on the internet, stuff that we've seen, stuff that I find interesting in the footballing world. Put that all together, go to the studio, switch the camera on, and I'll do all the takes and stuff necessary. And then we have an editor that works with every team to do all the magic, put all the nice fancy touches on it before the video comes out. That's kind of the normal, I'd say, day to day. But then we have loads of other projects. I mean, unfortunately, the COVID situation has stopped us traveling and doing some of the cool stuff we did last year, where we met some footballers and interviewed some interesting people and went to various places. But the rest of the time, you're coming up with content, looking at other ideas of how we can be part of the discussion in football and present interesting topics, whether it's a discussion on a new manager, transfers, a new player, a particularly important topic, and, coming up with shows that'll both be interesting for us to make and appeal to you guys as well who watch them on YouTube. Because I think it's kind of striking a right balance between those two that definitely makes the job super interesting for me anyway, because you don't want to talk about the same stuff all the time. I mean, you got to mix it up and bring in something fresh and bring in something interesting and try new things and really sort of reach an audience in a way which is completely down to us. It's not traditional media on YouTube, so there's no sort of really strict script to stick to. Like you would on TV, for example, being a TV reporter. So it's kind of fun. There's a lot of freedom and can do lots of stuff and get the community involved. And yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, it gives me a real chance to geek out on some football knowledge and some nerdy stuff that I like geeking out on. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it definitely sounds fun. And I like how like you write your own script, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I write it all.
Really cool.
It honestly, it's something that I would never understand, and I don't think you understand until you present, or even in some cases you read other people's work. I find it so difficult to put across what someone else has written. It's just, imagine if you were doing like a speech or a talk at school and someone else had written it for you. It's difficult to understand the various points of, do I add some more emotion here? Do I know what I'm talking about here? Do I have to stick to the script here, or can I riff a little bit and, throw in my own opinion or make something up on the spot? When you know which way your script is going, you understand the flow and the rhythm of it so much more. So yeah, there's been, I'd say 2 or 3 occasions in the last few years where I haven't written my script, and you can tell immediately when I'm filming it. It's difficult to stay on path. So yeah, all of my scripts are written by myself, and yeah, have been for the last however many years, almost 3 years. Because yeah, when you don't, it's noticeably difficult, a lot more difficult to focus.
So now let's get into some real life football.
Yes.
What's your favorite team? My personal favorite is Man United and Barcelona.
Ooh, 2 big teams. Tottenham are my favorite team. Tottenham Hotspur. It's going pretty well this season, so I will say that loudly and proudly. But yeah, definitely Spurs. I have a soft spot for a few other teams around Europe, but Tottenham are definitely my team.
Yeah, same. I also like some other teams that I don't support, but if they were playing,
you kind of like them.
Yeah. For me, it would be like Inter and Borussia Dortmund. Those are 2 teams that I don't support.
Why do you like Barca and Man United then?
So Barca's because my whole family, and United because of like the history. Like the like the trebles, all the amazing players. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. I've been to both stadiums a few times, and they're phenomenal. Wow. It's fantastic to go to the matches there, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I was born super close to Tottenham, so that's my hometown team.
When I was like little, when I was like 7, I wasn't like too involved in football. And I had the chance to go to the Parc des Princes and the Bernabeu, and I said no to both of them.
What?
Because I was little, and like I thought it was like a concert stadium, so I was like no, but yeah.
To be honest, the way PSG are going in the fashion and entertainment business, it probably will be a concert stadium soon. I'm sure they've hosted concerts at some stage there. But the Bernabeu I've been to a few times, and again, fantastic. Talk about tradition and heritage and footballing royalty. That is an unbelievable stadium.
Yeah, something I do is I like to go in VR and like go on Google Earth and go to like different stadiums.
That's cool. Wow, that's super cool. Yeah.
So who do you think is going to win the Champions League? I think either Dortmund, Barca, and United. One of those 3.
You don't think Bayern again?
No, I think Bayern's going to get to semifinals and then lose.
Ooh. The thing is, I mean, obviously it's difficult to call, especially this season. It's super difficult to make any sort of prediction. I guess in terms of the team and the squad that looks the best, it would have to be Bayern with the winning run that they're on. They've only lost Thiago as of last summer. Well, Choupo-Moting too, but that wasn't such a big deal. They lost Thiago, and that's about it. They still have Lewandowski on ridiculous form. They added Sane on top of Gnabry and Coman. Thomas Muller's still great. Goretzka and Joshua Kimmich's phenomenal footballer. Alphonso Davies, Neuer. I mean, the list goes on. In terms of a squad that won the Champions League and then didn't change too much, you'd have to go with them. With an outside shot, I would say someone like Dortmund. With a bit of an outside shot. But then again, I thought Inter Milan were going to do really well. And they are
Same.
rock bottom of that group with Real
Yeah.
Madrid, Shakhtar, and Gladbach. So what do I know?
But yeah, I feel like Mönchengladbach is going to be like the surprise team this season.
I don't see why not. I mean, lots of people in the Bundesliga have been talking about how good they are for, you know, certainly the last year and a bit. You know, Marco Rose is doing a great job there. So I certainly think that they could be dark horses. To go on and win it, who knows? But, you know, Atalanta almost got to the semi-finals last season. So
yeah,
anything can happen.
And Ajax almost to the final
Exactly.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. But Tottenham made it instead. I was there for the final. For the Champions League final, I was there against Liverpool, yeah.
That must have been so
cool. It was
cool.
the best and worst day of my life at the same time.
So, who do you think is going to win the Europa League?
It's tough to know because obviously 8 teams from the Champions League drop down.
Yeah.
Whoever finishes third. So it's tough to know without knowing who's going to come in because, like we just said, Real Madrid could come into the Europa League.
Yeah.
At the moment, the way that their group is looking. So that, you know, that adds a whole new ball game. It's going to be a tough one. I always back a few English teams. I just think they're very good in the competition. Sevilla aren't in the Europa League for the first time in a long time because they've made it through to the knockout. So we can cross them off the list. They're also a dark horse.
I think, like,
yeah, go on. Who do you think?
An Italian team.
You reckon? Someone like Lazio, maybe?
Yeah, or like Milan, AC, or maybe even Napoli.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to go with Tottenham, though. I think Jose Mourinho knows how to win things. So
yeah,
I'm going to stick my neck out and say Tottenham.
Definitely. I think Tottenham will make it to the final against an Italian team.
Tottenham versus an Italian team. Ooh, that'd be exciting. Maybe Roma. Who knows? Yeah,
maybe even Roma. So do you think Messi's going to, like, obviously for the next summer transfer window, do you think he's going to leave or, like, stay?
That is the multi-million-dollar question. It depends on the new presidency at Barcelona. They've set their elections for January 24th, I think. If they continue how they are now, I think Ronald Koeman won't last the season. And then it depends who they brings in. If they bring Xavi in, and, you know, Xavi's going to be the new guy to take Barcelona back to the good old days. He's one of them. He knows what he's doing. He might convince Messi. But if not, I just can't. I can't picture it. I can't picture him leaving.
Same.
In my head, I can't see Messi in another shirt.
Same.
It doesn't. That jersey is. Barca is Messi and Messi is Barca. So I can't see it happening.
And I feel like the only reason he would leave is that, like, if a team that Manchester City, like, have an amazing offer. But let's say Joan Laporta, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
If he comes in as president and Messi leaves, I think we'll be fine because he might bring in Haaland and that's going to make.
Yeah, exactly. I think they've got to really show. They've got to show Messi, like, no, we're serious. We're getting a good manager. We're getting big players in. Like, we're serious about returning to the top. Because if they're not serious about it, he'll know and he'll leave.
Yeah. Who do you think is the best youngster, like, right now?
Best youngster. Well, Haaland just won the Golden Boy Award for the best player under 21. So, yeah, I'd have to say it's clearly between the front three in that race. The top three was Haaland, Jadon Sancho, and Alphonso Davies. And I think all three of them are absolutely sensational. Alphonso Davies is just... I'm impressed with him more because he's not an attacker.
Yeah.
He's just a monster. Just such a brilliant, intelligent footballer who went from left wing to left defense. And I just, you know, and he did that transition whilst at the top of European football with Bayern Munich.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't like he did it at a team where there wasn't much pressure and he could kind of grow into the role and make a few mistakes and it was all okay. Like, he did this transition and he grew up effectively in one of the biggest teams in the world.
Yeah.
And absolutely smashed it. And I love Alphonso Davies. I think he's a phenomenal footballer. But having said that, yeah, Haaland and Sancho well worthy of being up there as well.
And I feel like the fact that he even came from not the best league in the world, the MLS, makes it a whole lot better.
Exactly. And given the Canadian talent that's gone before him, which has been minimal, certainly over the last 20 to 30 years, and given the MLS is a young league as well, you know, having been around since, was it 95, I think was the first season. And, you know, it's just the kind of that mix you hear about talents. I think Freddie Adu is the one that comes to mind. You hear about talents that are quite good in the MLS and they never quite make it. And, you know, this guy at such a young age as well, to just come in and from that position to Bayern and make it look so easy. I spoke to one of his former teammates who now plays at the Galaxy. And he just said that even at 15, it was just ridiculous. You could see this kid, he was like, he said he was like a sponge. He said he'd take in information, all the information, he'd soak it all in and then go and do it. And that was it. And yeah, I think that Davies is incredible.
Yeah, if you were to ask me who are like the best youngsters, I would say like, I'm going to say my top 6. Haaland, Ansu Fati, Greenwood, obviously. Davies, Pedri, and Harry Winks.
Harry Winks?
No.
He's 24.
No. I said that as a joke because I know you're a Tottenham fan.
Oh, I see. I appreciate it, but even I would have put him in there.
And because of his goal the other day.
Ooh, yeah, that was pretty crazy. What do you think of Pedri?
Pedri's amazing. He's really good.
Is. Wow. Him and Trincao. Pretty talented guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who do you think? Like, what do you think is the best team of like all time?
Oh boy, we were having this discussion the other day. God, it's so difficult.
If you were to ask me,
I think in terms of who would you say? I get a feeling I know who your answer is going to be.
Brazil 2002. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ridiculous, yeah.
United 2007, 2008.
Yeah, again, that was the Ronaldo year. Oh my God, yeah.
The treble winning year.
Yeah, true.
And Barcelona 2008, 2009.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would go on. I'd extend it further to the whole of the Guardiola legacy. Like 2008, 2012, when he was at Barcelona. They didn't just win everything. They changed football.
Yeah.
Like the whole culture around football, tactically, the way it's played, the way it was viewed, the way it's coached, the way it's sort of the culture that was embedded behind the players as well, and using La Masia, the academy at Barcelona, that had such a bigger impact on the game outside of the pitch, as well as being very entertaining and winning absolutely everything in 2009. So it's difficult to look past that. Honourable mention for, you know, Real Madrid winning 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years.
Definitely.
That's incredible as well. But yeah, that Guardiola impact on football as a whole, for me, that makes it the best of all time.
And something that I feel like everyone has to agree with, the Invincibles from Arsenal.
Yeah, they were ridiculous. I mean, again, the fact that we're invincible is amazing. There was 12 draws in there, which I know people like to point out. 12 draws and 26 wins. Didn't get very far in Europe or in the domestic cup competitions. But that all pales into insignificance, because to do something like going invincible is obviously difficult because it hadn't been done in, I think it was something like 120 years prior to that when Preston did it or something like that. So yeah, it just goes to show that the fact that it's pretty much never been done before, apart from one other time, certainly in the top leagues, goes to show it's so difficult. So yeah, you can't knock that at all.
Yeah, definitely. So do you have any advice for upcoming news reporters or like YouTubers?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't, as I say, I wouldn't sort of class myself as a news reporter. Certainly as a YouTuber, I guess my one bit of advice would be try to sort of throw all of your energy into something that you care about. It's very, like I mentioned earlier, it's quite easy to spot someone who's faking it. You know what I mean? If there's no shame in sort of saying, hey, I don't know about this, or I'm going to do some more research, or, you know, I'm learning about this just as much as you guys are along the way, that, you know, the viewers who are watching. I think if you throw yourself into it and make a real honest effort and, you know, you present everything that you found and you're not so sort of closed-minded when it comes to new information, then that's great. That's the thing I would say to YouTubers, is that really try and be honest and as thorough with your work, because people can spot a fake very easily.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. But before we end, where can they find your social medias and OneFootball?
Yeah, the OneFootball English is what it's called on YouTube, and OneFootball on Instagram. My personal ones is FROHLICH on Instagram, if you guys want to check that out. There's a few football bits here and there on there. And yeah, Matt_Frohlich on Twitter as well, if you want some football debates that usually end up with me getting annoyed. But yeah, the OneFootball stuff is pretty easy to find too.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Anytime, man.
And I'll see you in the next episode of the Nicocast.
Perfect.